Okay, there we go. We are live. We are live. Welcome to Wednesday Evening Encore. I am Christopher D. Thomas, and we have a wonderful episode in store for you. And I named it Audience of One, right? Like she's the only person in the room. And so it's a it's an episode because as we're coaching women entrepreneurs, this is one of I'm taking some of the biggest topics, the biggest questions, the biggest challenges that I am seeing, and I create them into an episode and creating the solution for you to be able to inject into your particular business. Now, what I try my best to do is to create a solution that you can inject into your business, into your brand, and have success immediately. All right. Things that you can inject into your business and start having immediate success. So, you know, many of you have seen billboards, they shout. Yet, all the decisions are made through a whisper. The whisper is the one that decides. If your next post on social media, your next email campaign, or your next offer page, if it sounds like it's been written to one woman's private thought at 7:12 a.m., would she scroll or would she stop? Now here's the hard truth. Most marketing that I'm seeing is aimed towards a crowd and it misses a person. It's almost as if, and what that's exposing you is that you don't quite know your audience if you're just simply aiming at a crowd. And so our goal this episode is to change all that. You don't have to reach a problem. You have a recognition problem. You don't have a reach problem. You have a recognition problem. It's not that you're not reaching people. You're not getting them to understand that you recognize them. That is the problem. And on this particular episode, we're going to fix that. We're going to help you to build language that's so precise that your viewer, your audience will feel found and not targeted. That's why we named this particular episode The Audience of One. You would help you to be able to write like your potential client, your viewer, the person who's reading your email, the individual who's reading your post is going to be they're going to feel like they're the only person that you're talking to. Because when that person says yes, the room actually follows. So let's start talking about speaking to everyone, heard by no one. Now, let's name what really hurts. Now, how many of you publish consistently? Some are publishing either content on social media, emails, a few times a day. You may get some polite likes. You may even get some silent DMs. And some of you, your posts and your emails are very strong until it's time to be specific. Now, and that's when what I'm noticing is that many of you are softening the edges. You're getting saved, but you're not getting paid. So it's not that you're boring. It's simply that you're blurry. And a blurry message is really expensive. It costs time. Thankfully, we have AI these days that can help increase that. However, using AI and getting the outcome that you want from AI, it still takes learning. It takes time. It takes time. It takes energy and the kind of confidence that can't be faked. So we're not asking you to be louder on any of these platforms or to do some type of trend. We're not expecting you to do all of that. We're only encouraging you to be truer through your message. Remember, precision is power. Vague is cheap. And my lady, women entrepreneurs, you are neither one of those. You are neither one of those. You are not cheap at all. So if this is landing with you, I want you to go ahead and save this live session because we're going to start digging into how to solve the problem. And you're going to want these lines to inject into your communication tomorrow morning. So you go ahead and save it right now. So let's talk about what I call the PAS, the problem, and then what agitates us about it, and then also the solution. So the problem is most people are writing to a demographic. Most people are writing to a demographic. However, think about how you read. Your client is reading like it's a diary. That's how your client wants to read. Your copy, your caption, your email, your sales copy, all of it is explaining the features of what you have. But our brains don't operate that way. Our brains are scanning as far as, hey, I feel this. I feel this. I recognize this. This is something that's speaking directly to me. That's what's going to get them to move. Now, when you're writing to a crowd, automatically that triggers a defense. Think about ourselves. When we start hearing something that's targeted to, oh, that's not me, we get defensive. We get into defense mode. I might automatically say, that's not me. So when we write one-on-one, that's going to trigger a permission. That's going to trigger your particular client stating, finally, someone said it. And so every time someone says, I'll think about it, when you're talking about your product, your services, when they say, I'll think about it, it's a tax you pay for not speaking directly to your potential client. Now, the solution to that particular problem is adopting what I'm calling the audience of one protocol. It's a disciplined way to make your words feel like a mirror. You're going to use the same platform that you already are using, the same cadence. You're going to have sharper intention. This episode, you'll know what to do, when to do it, why to do it, what to expect, so that your voice is going to compound. Now, let me give you an example of a client that I've actually partnered with on many, many projects. And she saw the success and actually caught one of the episodes a few months back. And she decided to take advantage of that 15-minute, complimentary 15-minute brand blueprint that I offer, which I only offer 2 or 3 a week. So, any of you who want to take advantage of that, make sure you drop blueprint in the um, in the comments, and I'll make sure that you get a link. And actually, a link to that is in my those of you who are on Instagram. A link to that particular blueprint to take advantage of that particular offer, that complimentary 15-minute brand blueprint session is in my bio profile. It's a link to it. So there's a graphic designer that we work with. Her name is Janelle, and Janelle is a wonderful brand designer, and she's brilliant. She's brilliant. However, she was underbooked. She was underbooked. And so you go to her social media page, and she wrote some wonderful posts. They were excellent. They were absolutely excellent. They were excellent posts. However, they were written for female founders between the ages of 25 to 44. It was accurate. However, it was invisible. And so what we did is that we didn't have to change her talent, because Janelle is exceptionally talented as a brand designer, graphic brand designer. What we did is helped her to change what I'm going to call is her address. Her address, from targeting to sending to everyone, to scaling, shifting her particular caption and content, her brand to be targeted to one woman. We helped her to be able to build a single sentence that started off her emails, her captions, and one of the emails that that started off, that she was sending out as marketing emails, to her particular database, was, and I'm going to say it directly, how we curated this particular piece of content. If you're the woman who makes 4 people's problems disappear before 9 a.m., this is for you. That was the exact sentence that we curated for her. I'm going to repeat that. The message that we built out for her was that if you're the woman who makes 4 people's problems disappear before 9 a.m., this is for you. Now, what was the response to that particular piece of one single line copy that we created for her, and she injected? And that's what she started off her email with. That was the first thing she started her email off with. After 1 week, her replies tripled. After 2 weeks, there was one client who paid in full, and Janelle did not even have to take a conference call or a discovery call with her at that particular point. Paid based on the services that were being provided, and said, hey, that connects with me. I'm paying immediately. Paid first and had to call later. Wasn't no DMs, wasn't no emails back and forth. Paid in full immediately. After 1 month, Janelle had a wait list. After 1 month, Janelle had a waiting list. Her frequency was sharper. And when you hit the right note, the right people, the right women, the right audience is going to vibrate. It's going to connect. Now, after 2 months, Janelle messaged me and stated that she started to get more DMs in her Instagram stating, I felt seen. She had the same offer. It only resonated differently. It only resonated differently. It was the same offer. Now, what I'm going to do now is give you uh, not the how-to mechanics of what to do. I'm going to help you to be able to align what to do, when to do it, why to do it, and what to expect. I'm going to call this, remember I talked about the A1 protocol? We're going to go down that particular protocol. It's the A1U. No, the AU1, AU1P. And so the A is going to be anchor her reality. Anchor her reality. Now, we're talking about some of the women entrepreneurs, excuse me, women owned brands that are perhaps going after other women as your target, as your audience, as your client. Now, it could be that someone else is listening to this and a woman may not necessarily be her particular client type. I could have some guys who are tuned into this, and you have a different audience or client type. You'll take the same formula and moving forward with this. We're simply, however, using this particular as an example, taking the woman brand, the woman business owner, the woman owned business, the woman owned brand, who most times are going after other women to work with. And so that's what we're calling it, anchor her reality. Now, you're gonna start from her morning, her constant, and also her phrase. Now, when you do that, you're going to do that in the opening line in the first 5 seconds. That is critical. First 3 to 5 seconds of any particular copy is what's going to get your particular client to move forward. Now, why I do that is because remember we talked about our brains. Our brains trust what sounds like memory. If it sounds like memory, our brains are going to trust it. Now, when you do this, you're going to be able to expect more replies that are starting with, hey, you know what? This is me. This is me. You have got you. I feel exposed. That's what you're going to get when you do that. Now, that's the anchor her reality. The next thing we're going to do is unmask the unsaid. Name the thought that she won't post. Name the thought that she won't post. Now, there are many examples of that. You can go from one extreme to the next, but name the thought that she won't post. Perhaps she's too afraid that, hey, I don't want other people to know that I'm thinking or feel this particular way. Yet when she reads it from your particular post or email, she's going to immediately thought, oh, that's me. I was just thinking about that. OMG. Now, when do you do that? You're going to do that in your first paragraph or in your headline subline so that it captures their attention. Your unspoken truth is going to disarm skepticism. And when you do that, you're going to be able to expect more saves, more shares, more comments like, hey, I felt that. This is me. OMG. You're going to get all of that. Now, the next part of that particular formula, of that protocol, and I'm calling it the A1 protocol, right to one and win to many. The first was anchor her reality. The next one is unmask the unsaid. The third one is the number one. One outcome, one obstacle. You're going to pick the single change that your client wants to make. The single change that your client wants to make. That's going to be the main thing that's in your client's way. Now, where do you place that particular that one outcome, one obstacle? You're going to place that in the middle of your post, the middle of your email. That's going to be that pivot point. That's going to be the pivot point. Now, that's going to help you to be able to show the focus accelerates the decision. And you're going to get rid of that list of things. Get rid of that list. That list just simply dilutes the whole entire email. It confuses everyone. So when you do that, when you inject that one outcome, one obstacle, you can expect fewer, maybe later, and more, how soon can I get on your list? The last part of that protocol, of the A1 protocol, is the P. Promise the path, not the steps. Promise the path, not the steps. You're going to frame the pathway and the payoff. Frame it. Don't give them a checklist. Frame the pathway and the payoff. Now, when are you going to do that? You're gonna use that close at the close of your post, or using it on your offer page. That's when you're going to use that. Your promise invites, process is overwhelmed. So make the promise. Make the promise, not the process. Show them what the payoff is, not the process of getting there. You know, people don't want to see you when we show them the process, when we show them the checklist, that overwhelms folks. That gets people to thinking about, oh, do I have the time for that? Or can anyone succeed at that? And if it's tough for me, does anyone else have any clarity to it? So that's what's going through people's brains when we give them a checklist of things, when we tell them about the process, about what is it that you provide, sell the payoff, sell the promise, not the steps to it. And when you do that, you're going to be able to expect clear DMs and people who are asking for the next steps into your particular protocol, your model, your system. Remember, we talked about that on last Wednesday about naming your particular experience that you have, naming it, giving it the power names. And so that is the A1 protocol to these moves that we're making. So I gave you 4 moves. They were clean. They were simple. They were sustainable. They weren't performative, persona building. They were just simply recognition that was on purpose, that and for your particular client to be able to feel as if, hey, I feel seen. That was for me. So let's talk about a few more power moves. Let's talk about the power moves with a precision that converts. Now, I've laid out 5 power moves that go along with that A1 protocol that we just talked about. Anchor her reality, unmask the unsaid, one outcome, one obstacle, and the P, which is promise the path, not the steps. Now, there were 4 moves. They're clean. They're sustainable. It's high performance. So let's talk about some of the power moves as you're injecting that A1 protocol. We're talking about precision. All right. So 1, mirror your potential client. That's the starting line. Starting off with something like, if you're the woman who, that is the individual. It's going to catch the attention already. You're going to mirror them. Why does that work? That's going to signal intimacy. That's going to trigger that yes before they even get into the comment or the content. 2, the thought hook, the stolen thought hook. Now, this could be something like, or as an example, to give you an example of what that could look like. Tell me if this is you. You hit revenue goals and still feel behind because your voice is ahead of your visuals. Now, that's a thought hook. That gets a person really being able to think about, wow, I'm not hitting my goals and I'm putting more information, more thought into my visuals, and I'm still feeling behind. I feel that particular way. Now, why does that work? Because you're echoing the inner monologue. And you're building trust at that particular point. You're building trust rapidly when you do that. Power move number 3 is the identity upgrade, not a task relief. That could look like or sound like, as an example, from service provider to category voice. Now, why does that work? Women invest in who they become, not just what they get. Women invest in who they become, not just what they get. Power move number 4 is the boundary cue. We all want our boundaries respected, right? And we as business people, you as a businesswoman, you want your boundaries respected. So number 4 is the boundary cue. That message could look like, I keep messages short and results long. Now, why does that work? That's going to help you to be able to establish authority without aggression. That's going to help to train respect. Training your client to respect you and what you do in your particular business. And power move number 5. I gave you 5 power moves. And remember, these are all things that you can inject into your business. Save this, follow, because you're going to want to use this in the morning. In the morning, when you're getting ready to craft your messages for marketing to close out over the next, few days, few weeks, few months, right? You're going to want to use this piece of information. All right. Power move number 5 is scarcity without drama. That could sound like, I hold 3 blueprint sessions a week to stay hands-on. Now, remember I shared that with you earlier? Because I do that. I inject that into my own business. And so you could use something like that, which will give you the scarcity of the time, the services that you offer, the access to you, and you're doing it with no drama. I hold 3 blueprint sessions a week to stay hands-on. Not only is that giving scarcity, that's giving an experience of a VIP. That's giving that high touch experience. Because hey, what you're saying is that, hey, it's not about me. I want to make sure that whoever comes through this, to ensure that they get my full attention, that they get the results that they need, I like to be hands-on, and I only take on a few sessions a week. That's what that particular statement does. Why does that work? Because the access equals value. A calm scarcity outforms a panic scarcity. So I want you to drop A1 in the chat. If you want that audience of one pager DM'd after I get off of this live. I'm happy to send it to you. All you have to do is drop A1 into the chat, and I'll send that one pager over to you after the live session. And I'll actually have another surprise for you, for everyone who takes advantage, of that. Now, let's talk more about clarity without of what to do, when to do it, why to do it, and then what to expect. Let's talk about more clarity as far as why all of these work. Now, we talked about that A1 protocol. Remember we spoke about it? Now, when you deploy that A1 protocol across your next post, your next email, your next offer page, that's going to lead with an anchor, and that's also going to unmask that particular part, and you're going to close it with a promise the path. Now, when you do that, when you inject that A1 protocol, we talked about the anchor, the unmasking, and then a promise to the path. When you do that, you need to do that starting tomorrow morning. Before you open up any of those notifications, before you open up any of those emails, start using this A1 protocol, and your outcome of that, of what you create, you can start to inject that into your marketing. Now, you're leaders. You're leaders. And the work that we're doing, the work that we're talking about, that A1 protocol, that's leader work. This is not leftover work. This is leader work. You're not leftovers. You're leaders. And so this A1 protocol, you're going to want to start injecting that into your particular format, your business. Start planning that and start it tomorrow morning. Now, why do you do it? Is because feeling seen is the fastest bridge from interest to investment. Feeling seen, that's the fastest bridge. And so when you anchor, when you use this A1 protocol, when you anchor, use the anchor, the unmasking, and the promise to the path, your client is going to feel seen. And that's going to be the fastest way of them to say, hey, you know what? I want to invest in me, and I want to give this or circulate this particular investment in you because you get me, you understand me, you see me. And this is not, people don't invest in generic. Generic is cheaper than you. And you aren't generic. You are not generic. Now, when you inject or start using that A1 protocol, you're going to start to, or you can expect to get replies that are stating like, hey, you see me, this was very specific towards me. You're going to also experience a shorter sales cycle. All those 4-week, 1-week sales cycles, they're going to shorten. They're going to shorten into hours after post, days at the most. All right. You will also expect a higher quality of a lead. Now, you will receive less, maybe less leads or people inquiring, but that's good because people at that particular point, remember we talked about respecting of the time, respecting your boundaries. People are going to start respecting your boundaries as well. So you may not get as many DMs, but the DMs that you do receive are going to be a higher quality of a lead. And these are going to be your clients that are already pre-aligned into what and who you are. And they're not simply just stopping because they're curious of what you got to say. So you don't need more content. You don't need more content. You need contact. You don't need more content. You need contact. You want to be able to contact these particular people so that they feel like you are connecting with them. You were taught, and I was thinking about this earlier. You were taught to be likable to many. I think most people have been taught that or feel that particular way. They want everyone to like them. That did something to you. That deluded you to no one. That deluded you to no one. What I want you to do moving forward is to choose one woman and own the consequence. Choose one woman and own the consequence. That's going to give you the clarity that you need. Remember, we're not out here chasing followers. What we're doing is that we're putting information that's going to summon our clients. Our clients will be attracting to us, and we're not chasing them. We're going to put out, we're going to get rid of the features because we want faster crossing over to revenue. So we're going to get rid of the features. We're not featuring anything. We're going to take this pathway to the fastest crossing to revenue. That is what this A1 protocol is going to do for you. Now, remember we talked about Jonelle earlier? I have helped women founders like Jonelle cut call volume by 40% and raise their close rates by writing to one woman on purpose. And the results feel like relief because they are. Now, I have a few things that I would I'm going to open up to you. It's totally up to you if you want to take advantage of it. I have the complimentary 15-minute brand blueprint session. You don't need a credit card for it. There's no commitment, to take advantage of it. However, you're going to leave that particular 15-minute, and the only thing I need is with you is 15 minutes. You're going to leave with a personalized brand blueprint that is also going to include your A1 opening line options. Now, remember I shared with you that I only hold 2 to 3 spots a week, and that's so that I can stay hands-on, so I can touch you, so I can message you, say, hey, how are things going? Give me some feedback. And so keep that in mind. Now, additionally, there's more depth that you can take when you're ready. Now, we're getting towards the end of 2025. And can you imagine that? We're at the end of 2025? Man. And so what I encourage all business owners to do, actually all businesses, is to go through a brand audit. And so I have a personal brand audit checklist, and that's going to help you to be able to identify the leaks in your particular brand, in your business. So when you're ready for that to go deeper, I could get you access to that. I also have what's called the re+inVent transformation system for entrepreneurs. That's going to help you to rebuild your engine with discipline. And to really get things going when you're not even in the room, I have what's called the Brand Power Vault. It's assets that sell for you when you're not even in the room. So follow, share, save, turn on notifications. This has This has been a wonderful experience for me to be with you on and to spend this time. I can't think of another way to spend um, a Wednesday evening encore other than spending it with you, helping you to be able to take your businesses to your brands to the next level. And remember to comment A1 for that one pager. And also, if you want to take advantage of that complimentary 15-minute brand blueprint session, comment blueprint and I'll send you the spot. So every day that you write to many, I want you to remember this. Every day you write to many is a day the right one can't find you. Every day you write to many is a day that the right one can't find you. So next Wednesday, we're going to stack the win. I'm going to show you that pricing that feels inevitable. So you can charge what you celebrate. Have you ever celebrated what you charge? And we're going to help you to be able to do that. Celebrate what you charge and not having to defend it. Oh, I'll charge that price because you got to explain it. This is your rate, and you're gonna be able to celebrate it because this is what you charge. So I'm going to show you how to stack that particular win. Taking everything that we spoke about last week, this week, and now next week, we're going to talk about the stacking to win, celebrating what you charge. So, in closing, I want you to write to her tonight. Create that success right now. Remember, the market says that the women who makes one person feel seen and lets the many overhear it. So remember, we're going to talk to that one particular person, make that person feel seen, and the many will overhear that and will begin to come. All right. So if this hit, I want you to save this for your morning writing. All right. So thank you for tuning in to WinsDay Evening Encore. It's been a pleasure to be with you. And until next time, have a fantastic one.